Hello, my name is Micah Tuttle, and my wife Amy and I and our kids were missionaries in Peru for about 17 years. And it was a tremendous opportunity to make Christ's name great everywhere we went, on the Andes Mountains, down into the Amazon jungle, along the coast also, just trying to preach Christ and preach the gospel, make disciples, plant churches, and start Bible institutes. And the Lord blessed, and we were able to do that in a lot of ways. The Lord gave us a boat, and we traveled along the Huallaga River, which is a tributary to the Amazon, where we went planting churches and encouraging some of the churches that already existed, which were planted actually by Jim Elliot's brother. Jim Elliot, the famous missionary who said, "He is no fool who gives what he cannot keep to gain what he cannot lose." And really those words were some of the words that transformed my life and really made me begin to have an eternal perspective. You could say eternity was stamped on my eyeballs as I thought about those words, and just the thought, don't waste your life. Live for Him. If He's given you eternal life, we ought to give everything we have with our gifts and abilities here on earth. So Amy and I had the opportunity to go to Peru in the year 2000 to work with Bert Elliot. Once again, that's Jim Elliot's brother, and just try to follow up with some of the work that he and his wife did for many, many years in Peru. And the Lord really blessed. And we were able to do a lot of things. The Lord blessed us with a boat, as I was saying, and we were able to just go up and down that particular river, Huallaga, and preaching open air, hut-to-hut evangelism, praying for people, trying to encourage the brothers and sisters, trying to help with social work, those kinds of things, taking in doctors and dentists sometimes, but really the main work is preaching the gospel, making disciples and planting churches. And that's what we tried to do over the last 17 years there in the jungles of Peru, sometimes hiking between villages, slogging through the mud, sometimes going 10 hours between villages, or having to swim rivers, sometimes eating wild boar brains or monkey meat. Those kinds of things are very, very exciting to me. I love that kind of stuff, kind of like being like Indiana Jones in the jungles of Peru. But the best thing, making Christ's name great wherever you go. And so now the Lord has given us an opportunity here in the United States. He's really opened up a lot of doors for us to try to encourage a new generation of Americans to go forth with the gospel, to take that baton, so to speak, from the older generation and go forth preaching the gospel and making disciples, and going to foreign lands, making Christ's name great. Evangelism or missions is not the goal of the church. Worship is. But evangelism and missions exists because worship doesn't.